we've got the right mindset. The people of Texas are holding their elected officials accountable to them.
Now I understand why Austin's so liberal.
What?
Because they're moving in there.
The Californians, yes. Yes.
Maybe, whatever.
That might be. We're working on that, believe me. Okay, so I just, thank you, Aaron, for your help. I just passed around a handout. It looks like this. And this is information about local government in Texas. And this is actually a snapshot of what the local government debt for the city of Trinity looks like. Now, I've talked about a lot of ways that Texas as a state is doing really, really well. But at the local level, it's a much different picture, okay? And at the top of this page, I've got a really interesting statistic, and it's very eye-opening. In Texas, between 1980 and 2005, local government spending increased 158%, or 4 times as fast as individuals' incomes. So local government spending has increased 4 times as fast as your ability to make money. By comparison, and then local government debt in Texas in that same time period has increased 5 times faster. So they're spending 4 times faster, and then they're using their credit cards, also known as bond initiatives, to bring on debt 5 times faster than our rate of income, so that's our rate of ability to pay. So we go to everywhere we go and speak, we check the Texas Bond Review Board website, Texas Bond Review Board, and that website's there at the bottom of the page if you wanted to go and look it up. And the Bond Review Board website simply tracks the number of outstanding bonds for every tax-paying entity in Texas. So your cities, your counties, your school districts, your municipal utility districts, anything that taxes you at the local government level, your property taxes, and they have debt, it's going to be on the Texas Bond Review Board website. So Trinity, obviously you're a smaller community. You should look at Houston. It fills 2 pages. It's awful. But Trinity, your county has 1 bond that was issued in 2008, and it is for a principal amount of $1.5 million with interest of $500,000 or $560,000 for a total debt amount of $2,096,145. This is what your county owes to the bank, and this is what you're paying through your property taxes. A little bit further down, you'll see Trinity ISD. They have the school bond, Series 2004. And the principal for that is $5.3 million. That's 5 times as much as what the county owes, with an interest of $2.5 million, for a total debt amount of $7,876,503. And we see this fairly often when we go and speak in communities. 9 times out of 10, I would almost say 9.9 times out of 10, school districts are carrying tremendously more debt than city and county government. And school districts are there simply to educate our students. Okay? They're not there to pay fire and police salaries or build roads or regulate traffic. They're there to teach our children and give them a good education. Yet, they are some of the biggest spenders of our tax dollars. And I've got another handout.
Got a quick question.
Yeah, sure thing.
On your school taxes, isn't that interest awful high?
It usually, yes, it is. And I've even seen, yes, it's very high. The interest is very similar because these are long-term bonds. The interest goes way, way up. There's sometimes there are 30-year bonds that are issued. And you can see here the, and I'm going to say this wrong, mortuary date, or the date that the bond is supposed to be paid off. And 2029 is what the date is that it's supposed to be fully paid off. Now, that doesn't mean they can't pay it off early and save some tax money and the interest, but if they paid it off by the date that the bond is due, that's how much interest will be owed. It is a lot. It is a lot. We've seen in some cities where it's almost half and half, where the interest is almost equal to the amount of principal. It's incredible. But, and I'll go into this a little bit more after I talk to you about the school district, but one of the key ways to fight this kind of thing is to be what we call a citizen watchdog. These are simply individuals who are committed to going to their monthly city council meeting, their monthly county commissioners court meeting, and their monthly school board meeting, and seeing what's going on, what are they talking about, and letting other members of the Trinity County Patriots know, other members of the Republican Club know, this is what our local government is doing. This is what it's going to mean for our taxes and our property taxes. And this is what I think they should do instead, or maybe I think they're doing a good job and we need to support them. It goes both ways. You need to you need to hold them accountable when they're doing something wrong. You need to let them know they're doing a good job when they're doing something right, so they continue doing the right thing. But okay, so we have $7.8 million of debt for the school district, and this other sheet of paper I passed out comes from the Texas Education Agency website. Again, all of this is public information. It's free for anybody to use, and anybody can look up this information. We always check this before we go and speak at any community so that you can have kind of a snapshot, an idea of where your local government stands. You know, and I feel like a lot of people are really focused, really keen on what's happening at the federal level. A lot of people are really keen on what's happening at the state level, but maybe not so many people are aware or understanding of what's happening right in their own backyard. And I feel like the place you can have the biggest impact and get the greatest amount of clout is right in your own community. And if you're able to build clout in your own community, that your state elected officials, your congressmen, they're going to know who you are, and you're going to have more influence with them down the road. So that's why I emphasize local government so much. Okay, so this is from the Texas Education Agency website. This is a snapshot of the Trinity ISD district. And I've highlighted a few things here that I'd like to point out. As you can see, the district accountability rating is academically acceptable. Without looking at what I've written to the side, can anybody tell me what academically acceptable, where it hits in the ranking?
Hello.
Second from the bottom. You have unacceptable, and you have acceptable, and then you have, I want to say exemplary, and I know that's not recognized, and then exemplary, okay? So academically acceptable means they meet the minimum standards set by the state for school districts. They meet all the basic qualifications, okay? They're not doing anything real special, but they're not failing either, so they're just basically meeting the bare minimum. We look at the dropout rate a little bit further down. A lot of school districts will use this number. The annual dropout rate, which the school district has listed here, is 0%. So what the school district will say is, we don't have a dropout rate. We have 0% dropout. Nobody drops out of our school. That's not accurate. Many schools will point to this number, but that's not accurate. What you want to look at is the longitudinal graduation rate. That means how many people have graduated over the past so many years. For the class of 2008, the longitudinal graduation rate was 80%. So the dropout rate's not 0, it's actually closer to 20%. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, the dropout rate may include, or the longitudinal graduation rate number may include people who left to be homeschooled or things like that, but 20% of the students aren't leaving to be homeschooled. I can promise you that. A little further down, you can see the number of students, the percentage of students at Trinity ISD who are tested, and that means they take the SAT or the ACT. 65% of the students take one of those college level tests. Of the 65% who take the test, 7% meet the college level criterion. That means 7% are at or above the level they need to get into college, of those who take the test. That's a very low number. Okay, let's go a little bit further down. You can see that total staff at Trinity ISD, 181, and of that, 85 are teachers. So that ratio is greater than a 1-to-1 ratio. You have more non-teaching staff than you actually have teaching staff within the school district. That's very telling. 20 years ago, the ratio in Texas was 3 teaching for every non-teaching. Everywhere I go, the ratio is either 1-to-1, or like here in Trinity, you have more than 1 non-teaching staff for every teacher. And then if you look at the salary, On average, non-teaching staff earns $54,951 a year, but teachers earn $15,000, almost $16,000 less than that on average. $39,193. So the emphasis has been taken off of educating the students, and this is just generally speaking about Texas, and it's gone toward building up the bureaucracy, getting the administrators. A lot of that money comes from the Federal Education Agency, where they make all these mandates on school districts, like you have to have this program, you have to have that program, and in order to do that, you have to hire this many staff. You know, is it really necessary? Is it improving the academic rating and the test scores, the number of students graduating and going to college? Those are the bottom line, and that's what we should be most concerned with.